The world is exceptionally quiet at 5 o'clock in the morning. Before the rest of humanity wakes up, before the notifications begin to ping, and before the heavy demands of the day pull you in a dozen different directions, there is a profound stillness. This stillness is not just an absence of noise. It is a presence of opportunity. When you choose to open your eyes at this hour, you are entering a space that belongs entirely to you. You are stepping into a realm where you can actively rewrite the script of your life, rather than simply reacting to the scripts others have written for you. By the time they check their phones and scroll through emails or news feeds, their minds have been hijacked, their focus is triggered, and their energy is completely depleted before they have even brushed their teeth. This is a reactive existence, and it shapes a reactive mind. The 5 morning hours are the foundation upon which your mental clarity, your personal discipline, and your internal power are built. This is not about sacrificing sleep or punishing your body. It is about aligning your daily rhythm with your deepest intentions. It is about giving yourself the gift of time to think, to breathe, and to grow. Science tells us that during the initial waking hours, your brain is in a state of high neuroplasticity. This means it is highly receptive to new patterns, new thoughts, and new behaviors. The mental pathways you walk during these early moments are carved deeper than those you walk later in the day, when cognitive fatigue sets in. If you fill this window with worry, distraction, and rushed preparation, you are wiring your mind for stress. But if you protect this window and fill it with intentional habits, you can physically and chemically restructure your brain for success. This pristine mental landscape allows for deep reflection and strategic thinking that is nearly impossible to find at any other time of day. The clarity available to you in these early moments is a competitive advantage that cannot be bought. It must be earned through the simple act of waking up with purpose. You become who you are because of what you do consistently. When you make the conscious choice to rise at 5, you are sending a powerful message to your subconscious mind. You are declaring that your dreams, your growth, and your peace of mind are important enough to warrant a fundamental shift in your behavior. You are choosing to value your potential over your temporary comfort. When you repeatedly choose to wake up early, you build an immense store of internal trust. You prove to yourself that you are someone who keeps promises. You prove that your intentions are not just empty wishes, but concrete directives. This builds a form of quiet confidence that cannot be easily shaken by external circumstances. You walk into the world knowing that you have already conquered the most difficult challenge of the day, which is mastering your own comfort. The first habit that changes everything is the deliberate transition from sleep to wakefulness. It is the moment your eyes open and you choose not to look at your phone. In our modern world, when you check your phone immediately upon waking, you are inviting thousands of strangers into your bedroom. You are letting their opinions, their problems, and their agendas dictate your internal state. You are handing over the keys to your mind before you have even found your footing. It rehydrates your brain, fires up your metabolism, and signals to your internal organs that it is time to perform. It is a physical catalyst for mental alertness. The goal is to get your blood circulating, to open up your lungs, and to release endorphins. Movement is a language that your brain understands perfectly. When you move your body with intent, you tell your mind that the time for rest has passed and the time for action has begun. By engaging in early morning movement, you shorten this groggy phase significantly. You bring yourself to a state of full cognitive readiness much faster than someone who relies solely on caffeine to wake up. You are using your own biology to generate sustainable energy that will last throughout the entire morning. Most people know what they need to do on any given day, but they rarely know why they are doing it. They go through the motions of their routines without a clear sense of ultimate direction. The early morning provides the perfect environment to reconnect with your vision, your core values, and your long-term objectives. You are not just recording thoughts, you are actively organizing your internal world. You can use this time to write down your goals as if they have already been achieved, to map out the primary objectives for the day, or simply to empty your mind of any lingering worries. This practice of mental externalization frees up immense cognitive bandwidth, allowing you to focus completely on the tasks at hand. Gratitude is often spoken of as a soft, emotional sentiment, but it is actually a highly functional cognitive tool. The human brain has a natural negativity bias. It is wired to scan the environment for threats, problems, and defects. This bias served our ancestors well by intentionally focusing on what is working, what is beautiful, and what you are thankful for early in the morning. You actively retrain your brain to see opportunities instead of obstacles. You become more resilient in the face of setbacks. You begin to notice resources and solutions that would have previously been invisible to you because your mind was tuned to a frequency of lack and frustration. This is the time to read deeply, to study a new subject, or to engage in creative work that requires deep concentration. While the rest of the world is still sleeping, you can acquire skills, process information, and generate ideas at a pace that feels almost effortless. That is the equivalent of working 5 full business weeks solely on your self-improvement. This consistent, compounding effort creates an insurmountable gap between you and those who choose to sleep in. It is how average individuals achieve extraordinary expertise, and how great leaders maintain their edge. In those scenarios, your attention is divided and your energy is fragmented. In the sanctuary of the early morning, your focus is singular and absolute. You can immerse yourself completely in a text, internalize its principles, and immediately think about how to apply them to your life. You are not just consuming information. You are integrating wisdom. Your willpower is not an infinite resource. It behaves much like a muscle. It is strongest in the morning and gradually depletes as you make choices, resist temptations, and handle stressors throughout the day. By structuring your morning so that your most important habits require the least amount of decision-making, you preserve your precious willpower for the creative and strategic challenges that lie ahead. If you have to spend 15 minutes looking for your workout clothes, deciding what to read, or searching for a notebook, you will exhaust your willpower before you even begin. You are creating friction, and friction is the enemy of consistency. When you prepare your space in advance, you eliminate the need for early morning choices. You create a seamless path from your bed to your routine, allowing you to slide effortlessly into your productive habits. The architecture of a successful morning routine is built on simplicity and flow. Each habit should naturally trigger the next, creating a chain reaction of positive behavior. For example, the act of putting on your shoes can become the trigger for your movement practice, and the completion of your movement can become the trigger for your hydration and writing. When your routine becomes automated through this type of habit stacking, it requires very little mental effort to execute. It becomes a natural, comfortable groove that your mind is happy to follow. You are ahead of the clock, ahead of the emails, and ahead of the demands. This psychological shift from scarcity to abundance brings an incredible sense of peace and control. You begin to understand that productivity is not about doing more things faster. It is about doing the right things with undivided attention. The early morning gives you the space to identify those right things and execute them without interruption. It is the realization that your future self deserves to be taken care of, and that the short-term pleasure of staying in a warm bed is a poor trade for the long-term fulfillment of achieving your potential. Every time you choose to wake up and honor your routine, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. You are building a rock-solid foundation of self-respect that will sustain you through any storm. It spreads to other areas of your life in ways that might surprise you. When you prove to yourself that you can control your waking hour, you suddenly realize that you can also control your reactions, your diet, your focus, and your boundaries. The mastery you achieve in the darkness of the early morning becomes a guiding light for the rest of your day. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as the architect of your reality. It is important to understand that the goal of the 5 a.m. routine is not to achieve absolute perfection every single day. There will be mornings when you are tired, when the weather is cold, or when your motivation is low. Happens precisely on those difficult days. When you choose to get up anyway, despite the discomfort and the excuses your mind creates, you are teaching your brain a vital lesson. You are teaching it that your commitments are stronger than your feelings. This is how resilience is forged. To bypass this mental trap, you must learn to act before your brain has the chance to rationalize behavior. You must shrink the gap between the alarm and your physical movement. Do not lie in bed thinking about whether you want to get up or not. The moment the alarm sounds, physical action must take over. Stand up, step away from the bed, and move toward your routine. By eliminating the negotiation phase, you disarm the voice of comfort and assert your conscious will over your primitive instincts. It is a quiet, steady resolve that allows you to face difficult tasks, uncomfortable conversations, and complex problems with a sense of calm assurance. You know that you have already faced the internal resistance of the morning and won, so you can face whatever the world throws at you. Once the sun rises and the world fully awakens, a barrage of requests, demands, and interruptions begins. If you have not anchored your mind in the early morning, you will easily be swept away by this current of noise. You will spend your day putting out other people's fires and managing their priorities, leaving your own goals neglected at the bottom of your list. You have already determined what matters most to you. You have already spent time visualizing your goals, organizing your thoughts, and feeding your intellect. When the distractions arrive, you can evaluate them with clarity. You can say no to things that do not align with your purpose, and you can say yes to the things that do, without feeling guilty or conflicted. You become the gatekeeper of your own energy. When you are no longer rushing, stressed, and overwhelmed, you have the capacity to be truly present for the people in your life. You can listen more deeply, respond more compassionately, and engage more authentically. The patience and peace you cultivate in the quiet of the morning show up in your interactions with your family, your colleagues, and your friends. You become a source of stability and strength for others because you have taken the time to stabilize and strengthen yourself first. The 5 a.m. habit is not a lonely or isolating endeavor. It is a deeply connecting practice. It connects you to your truest self, to your highest ideals, and to the natural world. Watching the world transition from night to day is a beautiful and humbling experience. It reminds you of the constant cycle of renewal and growth that is always available to you. Every single dawn is a physical representation of a fresh start, a clean slate, and a new opportunity to choose who you want to be. To truly understand the power of this routine, you must look at it as a holistic system, rather than a collection of random actions. The way you spend your morning is intrinsically linked to the way you spend your evening. You cannot successfully wake up at 5 in the morning with a clear, sharp mind if you are staying up late consuming mindless entertainment, eating heavy meals, or scrolling through social media. A great morning routine begins the night before. This requires you to create an evening ritual that honors your sleep and prepares your mind for the upcoming day. Just as you need a transition period to wake up, you need a transition period to wind down. Turning off screens at least an hour before bed allows your brain to naturally produce melatonin, the hormone responsible for deep, restorative sleep. Clearing your workspace, laying out your clothes, and setting your intentions for the next morning creates a sense of closure for the day that has passed and a sense of readiness for the day to come. This harmony removes the friction from your life and allows you to operate at your absolute best. You are no longer fighting against your habits. Your habits are working for you, pulling you steadily toward your goals. It becomes your sanctuary, your creative studio, and your personal gymnasium. It becomes the space where you do the heavy lifting of self-creation away from the eyes of the world. The results of this private work will inevitably manifest in your public life, showing up as increased competence, greater abundance, and a profound sense of inner peace. It is not about a sudden, dramatic transformation. It is about the quiet, consistent choices you make when no one else is watching. It is about choosing the discomfort of discipline over the comfort of regret. Day after day, week after week, this consistency accumulates over time, transforming your thoughts, your actions, your character, and ultimately, your destiny. You are choosing to live with intention, to lead your life rather than be led by it. You are claiming the first hour of the day for yourself, and in doing so, you are claiming ownership of your life. The quiet world is waiting for you, offering you the clarity and the power to become the person you were always meant to be. Throughout the day, we are constantly triggered by external events, unexpected challenges, and interpersonal dynamics. If we enter these situations with a mind that is already agitated, we are highly likely to react emotionally, making decisions that we may later regret. The morning routine serves as a psychological training ground, allowing you to practice maintaining a state of internal calm, regardless of what is happening around you. By intentionally sitting with your thoughts in the quiet hours, you learn to observe them without immediately reacting to them. Frustration or impatience, and you allow those feelings to pass without letting them dictate your behavior. This capacity for mindful observation creates a vital space between stimulus and response. In that space lies your freedom to choose a thoughtful, constructive reaction rather than an automatic, emotional outburst. This emotional stability is a superpower in both personal and professional settings. When everyone else is panicking, stressed, or overwhelmed, you can remain centered and clear-headed. You become the anchor in the storm, capable of assessing situations logically and making sound decisions under pressure. People naturally gravitate toward this type of grounded energy, looking to you for leadership and guidance when things become difficult. The mental clarity you cultivate at 5 a.m. also enhances your problem-solving abilities. When you are constantly bombarded with information and interruptions, your brain operates in a state of high cognitive load. This mental clutter limits your capacity for creative and lateral thinking. In contrast, the quiet and isolation of the early morning reduce your cognitive load to a minimum, allowing your brain to make unique connections between ideas and see solutions that were previously obscured by the noise of daily life. When you allow your mind to wander and explore without the pressure of immediate deadlines or expectations, you tap into a deeper well of intuition and insight. You generate ideas that are original, profound, and highly impactful. Whether you are trying to innovate a new product, solve a complex organizational challenge, or figure out how to better balance your career and family life, the morning hours provide the cognitive space necessary to think deeply and effectively. You can look at your problems from a fresh perspective, free from the biases and fatigue that accumulate during the day. Modern society is obsessed with comfort and convenience. We have designed our environments to minimize any form of physical or mental friction, creating a culture that is increasingly fragile and risk-averse. When you choose to leave a warm, comfortable bed at 5 in the morning, you are making a conscious choice to embrace a small amount of voluntary discomfort. It expands your comfort zone, making you less sensitive to the minor hardships and inconveniences of daily life. You begin to see discomfort not as something to be feared or avoided, but as a necessary condition for growth. You become more willing to take calculated risks, to step into unknown territory, and to pursue challenging goals that require sustained effort over long periods. Every significant achievement in life requires you to pass through a valley of discomfort. Whether it is learning a new skill, building a business, or transforming your health. If you are conditioned to always seek comfort, you will quit the moment things become difficult. But if you have trained yourself to embrace discomfort every morning, you will have the grit and perseverance to stay the course until you reach your destination. Furthermore, the 5 a.m. routine allows you to establish a strong sense of personal autonomy. In our hyper-connected world, it is easy to feel like your life is not entirely your own. You are constantly responding to phone calls, emails, messages, and social expectations, living a life that is largely defined by external demands. Waking up before everyone else breaks this cycle of dependency. It gives you a block of time that is completely independent of the outside world. During this hour, no one can demand anything from you. No one is expecting an answer to an email. No one is calling your phone. And no one is judging your performance. You are completely free to focus on your own well-being, your own thoughts, and your own growth. This experience of absolute autonomy is deeply empowering, restoring your sense of control over your own life and destiny. You realize that you are not just a cog in a machine, but an independent agent capable of directing your own path. You stop seeking validation from others because you have already validated yourself through your commitment to your personal growth. You move through the world with a quiet, inner authority that commands respect and inspires confidence. Many people approach self-improvement with a burst of intense enthusiasm, making drastic changes to their diets, workouts, or schedules, only to burn out and quit within a few weeks. They are looking for immediate, dramatic results, and they become discouraged when those results do not appear overnight. The 5 a.m. habit teaches you a different, more sustainable approach to transformation. But when this small act is repeated day after day, week after week, month after month, its effects compound exponentially. You begin to understand that real, lasting change is the result of small, seemingly insignificant habits practiced consistently over time. This insight removes the pressure to achieve instant perfection, allowing you to focus on simply winning the day, one morning at a time. This focus on consistency creates a sense of momentum that carries you through the inevitable ups and downs of life. Even on days when your work is challenging, your relationships are strained, or your energy is low, you can still find solace and strength in the fact that you won your morning. You maintained your commitment to yourself, and that small victory provides a foundation of confidence that prevents you from sliding into total despair or apathy. As you integrate these early morning habits into your life, you will notice that your overall energy levels become more stable and sustained. Many people rely on artificial stimulants like caffeine and sugar to get through the day, experiencing sharp peaks of energy, followed by exhausting crashes. By aligning your routine with your body's natural circadian rhythms and engaging in healthy morning habits like hydration, movement, and mindfulness, you optimize your natural energy production. You wake up feeling more refreshed because your body has adjusted to a consistent sleep-wake cycle. You maintain a steady level of focus and alertness throughout the afternoon because you have managed your stress levels and preserved your cognitive resources. You find that you no longer need to rely on external crutches to keep you awake and productive. Your own biology is providing all the fuel you need. This natural, sustained energy allows you to be more present and effective in all areas of your life. You can give your full attention to your work during the day and still have energy left over in the evening to spend with your family, pursue your hobbies, or enjoy your personal relationships. You are no longer living in a state of constant exhaustion, dragging yourself from one obligation to the next. You are living with a sense of vitality and enthusiasm that enhances every experience. The transformation that occurs through early morning habits is not just about changing what you do. It is about changing how you think. You move away from a mindset of limitation, reaction, and scarcity, and move toward a mindset of possibility, creation, and abundance. You stop looking for excuses and start looking for solutions. You stop waiting for conditions to be perfect and start creating the conditions you need to succeed. This mental changes your relationship with time itself. Instead of seeing time as an enemy that is constantly running out, you see it as a powerful resource that can be managed and invested. You become more protective of your hours, less willing to waste them on trivial distractions or negative influences. You begin to evaluate your activities not just by how much pleasure they provide in the moment, but by how much value they contribute to your long-term vision. This intentional use of time leads to a life that is richer, more meaningful, and more aligned with your true potential. You are no longer drifting through life, letting external circumstances determine your direction. You are steering your own ship, navigating toward the goals and dreams that matter most to you. And it all begins with a simple, courageous choice to wake up at 5 in the morning and take control of your day before the world takes control of you. The early morning hour acts as a mirror, reflecting your true priorities back to you. When you choose to sleep in, you are prioritizing immediate physical comfort over your long-term goals and personal growth. When you choose to get up, you are prioritizing your future self, your dreams, and your internal peace. This daily choice provides an honest assessment of where you stand and what you truly value. It eliminates the self-deception that often keeps people stuck in mediocrity. By facing this mirror every morning and choosing the path of growth, you build an unshakable sense of self-respect. You know that you are not just talking about your goals. You are actively working for them. You are putting in the effort when no one is watching, laying the groundwork for the success that will eventually become visible to everyone else. This private integrity is the true foundation of authentic confidence and lasting fulfillment. The habits you develop during this quiet time also provide a safe space to process and release the emotional residue of the past. Throughout our lives, we experience setbacks, failures, disappointments, and hurts that leave emotional scars. If we do not take the time to process these experiences, they sit in our subconscious mind, influencing our behavior, creating self-doubt, and limiting our potential. The early morning provides the perfect container for this emotional healing. Through journaling, meditation, or silent reflection, you can bring these past experiences into the light of conscious awareness. You can examine them without judgment, understand the lessons they taught you, and consciously choose to let go of the pain, resentment, or fear associated with them. This process of emotional clearing frees up immense amounts of energy, allowing you to move forward into your future, unburdened by the weight of your past. You begin to realize that your past does not define you. It has simply prepared you for the person you are becoming. The early morning hour becomes a space of profound self-forgiveness and renewal, where you can release old identities that no longer serve you and step into new ways of thinking and being. You are actively rewriting your internal narrative, replacing stories of limitation and victimhood with stories of strength, resilience, and capability. This mental and emotional renewal transforms how you face new challenges. When you are no longer driven by old fears and insecurities, you can approach difficult situations with a sense of curiosity and openness. You see challenges not as threats to your worth or safety, but as opportunities to test your skills, learn new lessons, and expand your capabilities. You become more adaptable, more innovative, and more successful in navigating the complex, ever-changing landscape of modern life. The morning routine also helps you develop a greater sense of clarity regarding your personal and professional boundaries. When you spend time every day reconnecting with your core values and vision, you become very clear about what belongs in your life and what does not. You recognize the activities, habits, and relationships that drain your energy and distract you from your purpose, and you find the courage to say no to them. You stop trying to please everyone at the expense of your own well-being. You establish clear boundaries that protect your time, your focus, and your peace of mind. This ability to set healthy boundaries is essential for maintaining your peak performance and avoiding burnout. It allows you to commit your energy fully to the things that matter most, while letting go of the trivial distractions and toxic influences that hold you back. As your life becomes more aligned and focused, you will find that your actions carry a greater sense of power and impact. You are no longer scattering your energy in 100 different directions. You are channeling it like a laser beam onto your highest priorities. This concentrated effort produces results that are far superior to anything you could achieve through a chaotic, reactive approach to life. You move closer to your goals with greater speed, efficiency, and ease. The 5 a.m. habit is ultimately a journey toward self-mastery. It is about taking full responsibility for your mind, your body, and your life. It is a daily declaration that you are the creator of your reality, not a victim of your circumstances. By mastering the first hour of the day, you set a standard of excellence, discipline, and purpose that elevates every other hour of your life. There will be days when the bed feels too warm, the air feels too cold, and the temptation to sleep is overwhelming. But it is precisely in those moments that the true transformation occurs. When you choose to rise anyway, you are wiring your mind for resilience, discipline, and power. You are choosing to live a life of design rather than a life of default. It is an opportunity to connect with your deepest intentions, cultivate your intellect, strengthen your body, and find your internal peace. The world is waiting for you to claim this time, to wake up with purpose, and to begin the process of your mind for greatness. Or you can choose to rise at 5, step into the stillness, and claim ownership of your mind and your destiny. The path of self-mastery is waiting for you in the quiet before the sun rises. In our culture, the late-night hours are often associated with relaxation and leisure, but they are frequently filled with mindless scrolling, binge-watching, or unhealthy habits that leave us feeling depleted the next day. When you commit to the 5 a.m. habit, you naturally begin to value your evenings differently. You start to see the late evening not as a time for mindless consumption, but as a crucial preparation phase for your morning success. This realization leads to a restructuring of your evening routine, creating a sense of balance and harmony that benefits your entire life. You begin to wind down earlier, replacing digital screens with reading, conversation, or gentle stretching. You create an environment that promotes deep, restful sleep, knowing that your body and mind need to recover fully to perform at their best the next morning. This intentional evening ritual becomes just as valuable as the morning routine itself, providing a sense of closure and peace at the end of each day. You enter that arena with a full reservoir of physical energy, mental clarity, and emotional stability, allowing you to perform at a higher level than you ever thought possible. By securing the first hour of the day for yourself, you reclaim that sense of control. You prove to yourself that you can manage your time, your focus, and your energy. When unexpected problems arise, you do not panic. You assess the situation with clarity and implement a solution with confidence, knowing that your internal foundation is solid and unshakable. We make decisions based on logic, fear, or social conformity rather than what truly aligns with our authentic self. In the absolute silence of the early morning, that inner voice becomes clear and audible once again. This regular connection to your intuition keeps you aligned with your true purpose, preventing you from wasting years pursuing goals that do not bring you genuine fulfillment. You become more authentic, more self-aware, and more aligned with your highest potential. It is about understanding that the person you become through this process is far more valuable than any external success you might achieve. The discipline, the resilience, the clarity, and the peace you develop in the early morning hours become your permanent possessions, shaping your character and defining your life. You will no longer need to force yourself out of bed. You will rise naturally, eager to experience the stillness, the potential, and the power of the early morning. You will walk through the world with a deep sense of gratitude for the gift of time, and a profound confidence in your ability to shape your own reality. Every day, you are given a blank page, a fresh start, and an opportunity to paint a masterpiece of focus, discipline, and peace. Do not waste this opportunity by sleeping through the most potent hour of the day. Wake up, step into the quiet for the extraordinary life that is waiting for you. When you realize that your energy, your focus, and your state of mind are completely within your control, you stop looking to external factors to fix your life. You stop waiting for the perfect job, the perfect relationship, or the perfect circumstances to make you happy or successful. You understand that the power to change your life lies within your own daily choices, starting with the very first choice you make when the alarm goes off. It frees you from the dependency on external validation and circumstances, allowing you to build your happiness and success from the inside out. You become the master of your own internal weather, capable of maintaining a sunny, positive disposition even when the external world is stormy and chaotic. You are no longer at the mercy of random events. You are the anchor that keeps your life steady and focused. Cognitive flexibility is the ability to adapt your thinking and behavior in response to changing environments and unexpected information. In a world that is moving faster than ever before, this ability is essential for survival and success. The calm, organized mind that you cultivate in the early morning hours is far more adaptable than a mind that is stressed and reactive, because you have taken the time to clear away the mental clutter and organize your thoughts. You can process new information more efficiently and see alternative paths more clearly. You do not become rigid or defensive when your plans are disrupted. Instead, you pivot smoothly, finding new opportunities within the challenges. You are able to view problems from multiple angles, leading to more creative solutions and more successful outcomes. The 5 a.m. habit also fosters a profound sense of self-respect. Every time you choose to wake up early and commit to your morning routine, you are sending a powerful signal to your subconscious mind that your goals, your health, and your peace of mind are important. You are prioritizing your own growth over temporary physical comfort, which builds a deep, unshakable sense of self-worth. You begin to carry yourself with a quiet dignity, knowing that you are someone who honors their commitments to themselves. You start making choices that align with your true worth, choosing foods that nourish your body, activities that expand your mind, and people who support your growth. Your entire life elevates to a higher level because you have raised the standard for how you treat yourself. We live in an era of continuous partial attention, where we are constantly switching between tasks, checking notifications, and consuming small bites of information. This fragmented focus degrades our cognitive abilities, making it difficult to engage in deep, meaningful work or think critically about complex issues. Without the constant interruption of messages, emails, and phone calls, you can immerse yourself completely in a single task for an extended period. This practice of deep focus trains your brain to sustain attention, improves your working memory, and allows you to produce work of a much higher caliber. You can accomplish more in 1 hour of uninterrupted morning focus than most people do in an entire afternoon of distracted effort. This capability for deep work is a major competitive advantage in any field. While others are struggling to stay focused for 10 minutes without checking their phones, you can sit with a complex problem or a creative project for hours, diving deep beneath the surface to find original insights and innovative solutions. You become more productive, more creative, and more valuable in your professional life, all because you have mastered the art of early morning focus. To maintain this level of performance over the long term, it is important to view your morning routine as an evolving practice rather than a rigid set of rules. As your life changes, your goals, your responsibilities, and your needs will change as well, and your morning habits should adapt to reflect those shifts. What worked for you a year ago might not be what you need today, and that is completely natural. The key is to maintain the core principles of the routine, the commitment to silence, movement, hydration, reflection, and growth, while remaining flexible in how you execute them. If you are going through a particularly stressful period, you might need to allocate more time to meditation and emotional clearing. If you are working toward a major professional deadline, you might choose to dedicate the majority of your morning hour to deep, strategic work. By listening to your mind and body and adjusting your routine accordingly, you ensure that your morning habits continue to support your growth and well-being. You begin to see your morning hour as a dynamic laboratory for self-discovery and personal growth, where you can experiment with different habits, techniques, and ideas to find what works best for you at any given moment in your life. It means that you are no longer conflicted, stressed, or unfulfilled because you are actively working toward the vision you have created for yourself. This alignment brings an incredible sense of peace, joy, and satisfaction that cannot be found through any external achievements or material possessions. You are choosing to start your day by focusing on the things that matter most, setting a trajectory of purpose and excellence that carries you through the next 24 hours. You are transforming your relationship with yourself, your time, and your world, creating a foundation of strength and clarity that will sustain you through any challenge. The alarm will ring, the voice of comfort will make its excuses, and the choice will be entirely yours. Will you hit snooze and return to a life of reaction and stress, or will you stand up, step into the stillness, and begin the process of your mind for greatness? The path of self-mastery is right there, waiting for you in the dawn. Your brain is accustomed to its old patterns of sleeping in and reacting to the day, and it will resist the disruption of a new routine. This resistance is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is simply a sign that you are pushing against your comfort zone and forcing your brain to adapt. Every time you push through this resistance and choose to wake up early, you are weakening the old pathways and strengthening the new ones. Over time, this effort becomes easier as the new pathways become the dominant tracks in your mind. Waking up at 5 will stop feeling like a battle against your biology and start feeling like a natural, effortless extension of who you are. You will find yourself waking up before the alarm, your body and mind eager to experience the unique clarity, peace, and power that only the early morning can provide, transforming an act of discipline into a permanent, life-giving habit. Your career will advance as your increased productivity, focus, and creativity allow you to produce work of exceptional value. And most importantly, your internal world will be filled with a deep, unshakable sense of peace and satisfaction, knowing that you are living your life with total intention and fulfilling your true potential. The 5 a.m. habit is a journey of self-discovery, an ongoing exploration of what you are truly capable of achieving when you take full control of your time and your mind. It is a commitment to excellence, a daily choice to value your long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort. The quiet hours before dawn are a sanctuary where you can build your dreams, strengthen your character, and forge your destiny, completely undisturbed by the noise of the world. So tomorrow morning, when the world is still dark and silent, make the choice to rise. Step into the stillness, take a deep breath, and recognize the incredible power and potential that lies within that quiet hour. Drink your water, move your body, write down your intentions, and feed your intellect. Fill that pristine space with habits that elevate your mind and honor your spirit. You have the power to create a life of absolute clarity, purpose, and mastery. And it all begins with the choice to open your eyes, stand up, and claim the dawn for yourself. This constant exposure often triggers an unconscious comparison mechanism, leading to feelings of inadequacy, envy, and distraction from our own unique path. We start chasing goals that belong to others, trying to live a life that looks good from the outside, but feels empty on the inside. You are completely alone with your own reality, your own strengths, and your own areas for growth. This isolation provides an essential opportunity to reconnect with your own standard of success. You can evaluate your progress not against what someone else is doing, but against who you were yesterday. You stop measuring your worth by the accolades, possessions, or approval of others, and start measuring it by your personal growth, your integrity, and your commitment to your values. You become more focused on your own journey, pouring your energy into your own development rather than wasting it on envy or competition. You realize that the only competition that truly matters is the daily challenge to become the best version of yourself. This internal focus also helps you cultivate a deep sense of contentment and joy in the simple process of living. When you are no longer rushing through your mornings to catch up with the demands of the world, you have the space to notice and appreciate the small, beautiful details of life that usually go unnoticed. The taste of your morning water, the feeling of fresh air in your lungs, the gradual changing of the light as the sun rises. These simple experiences become sources of profound pleasure and grounding. This capacity for presence is the true secret to happiness, allowing you to find fulfillment in the journey itself rather than relying on the achievement of external goals to feel satisfied. You understand that life is not a destination to be reached, but a continuous experience to be savored, one morning at a time. They criticize their failures, obsess over their mistakes, and push themselves to the point of exhaustion, believing that this internal pressure is necessary to maintain their performance. You can look at your mistakes and setbacks with kindness and understanding, recognizing that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a natural and necessary part of the learning process. You can give yourself credit for your efforts, celebrate your small victories, and offer yourself the same encouragement and support that you would give to a dear friend. This practice of self-compassion does not make you soft or lazy. Instead, it builds an internal safety net that allows you to take greater risks and bounce back from failures with greater resilience. You are no longer trying to prove your worth to the world. You are simply exploring your potential and seeing what you can create. This shift from fear-based motivation to love-based motivation transforms your relationship with your work and your life, making your journey far more sustainable, creative, and fulfilling. It provides the structure and the space necessary to cultivate the qualities that are most essential for a meaningful life: discipline, clarity, resilience, presence, and self-compassion. By investing the first hour of your day in this practice, you are making a long-term investment in your future, laying a foundation of strength and wisdom that will support you through every stage of your journey. As you move forward from this moment, let go of the idea that waking up early is an insurmountable challenge or a punishment. Reframe it as an invitation, a privilege, and a gift that you choose to give yourself every day. Approach your mornings with a sense of curiosity and anticipation, eager to see what insights, ideas, and strength you will discover in the quiet before dawn. Remember that every morning is a fresh start, a clean slate, and a new opportunity to choose who you want to be. The alarm will sound tomorrow morning, just as it does every day. The voice of comfort will make its usual arguments, inviting you to stay in bed and choose temporary ease over your long-term growth. In that critical moment, Remember the stillness, the clarity, and the power that is waiting for you at 5 a.m. Stand up, step away from the comfort of the bed, and step into the extraordinary potential of your own life. The path of self-mastery is open, and it begins with the very next dawn. The transformation you seek is not waiting for you in some distant future or after the achievement of a major milestone. It is waiting for you tomorrow morning, in the quiet, dark space before the rest of the world wakes up. It is found in the simple, consistent choices you make when no one else is watching, in the daily victories you achieve over your own comfort and excuses. By mastering your mornings, you master your mind, and by mastering your mind, you master your life. Step into the dawn and begin the process of becoming the person you were always meant to be. It will naturally rebel against any major shift in your routine, especially when that shift requires you to leave a warm bed in the cold, dark hours of the early morning. This resistance is a predictable psychological barrier. It is the moment where most people give up and return to their old, comfortable habits. If you only wake up early on the days when you feel inspired, you will never build a lasting habit. When you choose to stand up, despite the overwhelming urge to hit the snooze button, you are performing an act of profound mental training. You are proving to your subconscious that your conscious intentions are stronger than your physical feelings. This act of overcoming resistance creates a shift in your internal power dynamic. In the past, your comfort dictated your actions. By consistently breaking through that resistance, your actions begin to dictate your comfort. You train your brain to accept a certain level of voluntary discomfort as a necessary condition for growth. This mental toughness does not stay confined to the early morning hours. It spills over into every area of your life, making you more resilient when facing difficult projects, uncomfortable conversations, and unexpected life challenges. Even when we are alone, this continuous external input leaves very little room for original thought or genuine self-reflection. This creates a psychological sanctuary where you can hear your own thoughts clearly for the first time in 24 hours. You are no longer filtering your reality through the lens of other people's expectations. You are standing face to face with your own mind, free to evaluate your life with absolute honesty. When we do not take the time to process our daily experiences, they accumulate in our subconscious mind as a heavy layer of mental static. By sitting in the quiet of the morning, you allow this static to settle. You give your brain the space it needs to file away information, resolve emotional residue, and reset its cognitive baseline. This morning, focus is different from the frantic, fragmented attention you use to survive a busy workday. It is a calm, deep, and singular focus that allows you to engage with complex ideas and creative projects on a profound level. You enter a state of psychological flow where time seems to slow down and your productivity increases exponentially. This state of flow is highly therapeutic for the brain, reducing stress hormones and increasing feelings of competence and satisfaction. The secret to maintaining this flow state lies in the systematic reduction of friction. Your brain will always seek the path of least resistance. If your morning routine requires you to make a series of complex decisions or search for tools and materials in the dark, you will quickly exhaust your willpower. You must design your physical environment to pull you effortlessly into your habits. By preparing your space the night before, you remove the need for early morning decision-making, allowing your body to move automatically from one positive behavior to the next. The routine carries you forward, building momentum with each small task you complete until you are fully awake, alert, and operating at your absolute best before the rest of the world has even started their day. You have already exercised your body, organized your thoughts, fed your intellect, and centered your spirit. While others are still trying to wake up and shake off their groggy reactions, you are already operating from a position of absolute strategy and intent. You are able to slow down, assess the situation logically, and choose a response that aligns with your highest values rather than throwing an emotional reaction at the problem. It is a daily declaration that you refuse to let your life be dictated by default patterns, external demands, or temporary comfort. You are choosing to be the author of your own story, the architect of your own mind, and the master of your own destiny. The quiet hours before dawn are the birthplace of that mastery, providing the raw space where your potential is forged into reality. Every single night offers an opportunity to prepare, and every single dawn offers a fresh start. The choice is yours to make. Every time the clock strikes 5, you can choose the temporary comfort of the mattress, or you can choose the lasting fulfillment, powerful mind. Step into the stillness, claim your time, and watch your entire reality transform.